Why, hello there YouTube, and welcome to a brand new Horror Talk. I am Random Ross, and this is Horror Talk, the Halloween franchise. And you should know the score by now. I'm doing this every Thursday in the build up to Halloween. So it is part 4? Yes, hang on. No, it's part 5. Part 5, the Rob Zombie era. So, yeah, after Halloween Resurrection pretty much killed the franchise, we didn't have a Halloween film for at least a good 5 years. But in 5 years, instead of making another sequel, former white zombie musician turned filmmaker Rob Zombie rebooted the franchise from before having 2 previous films out, House of a Thousand Corpses and its sequel, The Devil's Rejects. He decided he wanted to give the remaking a try, after stating that he thinks a horror film should not be remade, especially Halloween, but he remade it by writing and directing the film. So 2007, we got Halloween, written and directed by Rob Zombie, and starring Malcolm McDowell, Sherry Moon Zombie, Rob Zombie's wife in real life, Tyler Mane, Scout Taylor Compton, Brad Dourif, yes, Chucky, Danielle Harris, and William Forsythe or something. William Forsythe and Danny Trejo. So this was released in the August 31st, 2007, I know. And this was, this one, it had John Carpenter's approval to be remade. He even let Rob Zombie use his score, the original Halloween theme, for this one. So in this one, Michael Myers is played by 2 actors in this. He's played by Doug Ference or something as a age 10 Michael Myers, and is played by Tyler Mane, grown up Michael Myers. So in this film, Rob Zombie, when he remade it, he thought he didn't want to remake this shot for shot. So in this one, it's a 2-hour film, and in the first hour of this film, Zombie chooses to explore the character's backstory, Michael Myers as a kid. So Michael's a kid, he can talk, and he's raised it by a rough family. His mother's a bit of a trollop. His oldest sister Judith, she too is a bit of a trollop. And he also has a baby sister which is named Angel Myers in this, and then renamed Laurie Strode when she's adopted. And he also has an arsehole, his mother's arsehole boyfriend living with them, Ronnie, who's a total dick, and I don't even know why she's with the guy, because why would you be with someone like that? Plus, he's horrible to Michael, so at this point, I can't blame Michael for his actions, because in the first act of this film, we see that he's a bit of a disturbed kid. He kills animals, including his little rat, and he's obsessed with his clown mask. He's obsessed with mask wearing and mask making in this. So he kills some animals, and then he gets bullied at school and picked on, by the kid from Spy Kids, and he just snaps and brutally beats the kid to death, killing him. And yeah, that's the beginning of his kills. And then in the second act of this opening scene, we see Michael, you know, just eating his candy after trick-or-treating, and you know, his mother is trying to be a better woman for him, but she has to work in a strip club for a living as well. At this point, Michael, he's had it with people. You know, he kills Judith's boyfriend, so he doesn't go this time. He batters him with a baseball bat, and Debbie Myers, his mother, her boyfriend Ronnie, is duct taped to a chair and he slits his throat, and I cannot honestly blame that kid for what he did in that. And then he kills his sister by stabbing her 17 times, and we see a more brutal attack on it this time. And then next thing, you know, Dr. Loomis, who offers to evaluate him beforehand because of all these pictures that Michael takes of these dead animals he's killed, and Debbie refuses to see beyond that there's something wrong with him. And then that's when Dr. Loomis takes him in, becomes his doctor, and we see the relationship between Michael and Sam Loomis. Sam Loomis in this is, of course, played by Malcolm McDowell. Now, was he a good Dr. Loomis? He wasn't the worst. In fact, a fact here is Rob Zombie originally considered Sid Haig, that's right, Sid Haig, Captain Spaulding, to be Dr. Loomis. And I can kind of see why, but he ended up not being Dr. Loomis because I don't think you could put on a good British accent. Sid Haig did have a cameo in it as a graveyard caretaker in the film when Michael escaped. So yeah, in this next part, Michael has a relationship with Sam Loomis, and he just becomes obsessed with wearing masks and making them, and eventually just goes silent and mute. Another person who's good to him in Smith's Grove Sanitarium is a cleaner, well, a janitor, played by Danny Trejo. What's his name? Danny Trejo. Where's his character in this? I can't find his character's name. But he's a good person, and to be honest, I think he got an undeserved death when Michael killed him. Of course, when these, you know, after Dr. Loomis has, you know, given up on Michael because he hasn't spoken for 15 years, he moves on and bids Michael farewell, and upon that night, some guards are on the night shift and they think it'll be fun to gang rape a patient and have Michael watch. That is when Michael again snaps and escapes, killing Danny Trejo and leaving and just escaping. And of course in this, he doesn't drive. I'm assuming he walks all the way back to Haddonfield because Rob Zombie tackled that whole thing. How the hell did Michael learn to drive? That's another thing. In the first film, how did Michael learn to drive when he'd been locked away for 15 years? I don't know. But in this, Rob Zombie had him not drive to Haddonfield. He must have walked or somehow stowed away somewhere. There's a scene where he's in a gas station and he takes the overalls from a truck driver, played by the guy who I know better as Roger Rockmore in Keenan and Kel, and was in Devil's Rejects. I can't remember the actor's name now, but he played the character Joe Grizzly in it. A brief cameo, of course, and Michael killed him. And then Michael returned home to Haddonfield and donned the white mask that he wore earlier on in the film. Only the mask was all tattered and torn and worn by then, but yeah. Another thing I wondered is Michael's a really small kid and then he grows up to be built like a brick shithouse because he's played by former wrestler Tyler Mane. So in this, then the second hour of the film is sort of a shot-for-shot remake of Halloween with alterations and changes made. We get the introduction of Laurie Strode, played by Scout Taylor Compton, and we also get her friend Annie Beckett, played by Danielle Harris. Danielle Harris returns to this, and she'd not been in it since Halloween 5, so I thought that was a nice touch. Have Danielle Harris play Laurie's friend now that she's older. Of course, she's playing like a 16-year-old girl, but in real life in that film, when she did it, she was actually 30. 30, I know, and now in real life she's like 42, and she still looks good for her age. She really does. And of course, Brad Dourif, who we all know as Chucky in the Child's Play films, was in this as Sheriff Lee Brackett and his father. And then we had Christina Kaby or something play Linda, Laurie's friend. So it does sort of go for a shot-for-shot. Michael's stalking them, stalking Laurie. We know why, though, this time, because they are brother and sister, and he kills people. He kills Laurie's foster parents, including her foster mother, played by Dee Wallace. And we also see Linda's boyfriend get killed, and he gets the same kill. Linda's boyfriend Bob, he gets the same kill in this, only they're in the Myers house. They're going to the Myers house and have sex this time, and after they have sex, she wants a beer. When he gets a beer, Michael kills him and impales him on the wall like in the original. Again, admiring his kill, and this time he has the ghost blanket on his head. But then she gets all bitchy with him, saying, "Enough, joke's over, beer please." She does that "see anything you like." And yeah, we see some full-on nudity, and she sips a beer, then Michael throttles her to death. Not with a phone wire this time, with his hand. And we basically see the kids get terrorised as well. Tommy Doyle and Lindsay Wallace. Of course, Annie takes Lindsay over to Tommy Doyle's so she can have some fun time with the boyfriend. In this, they actually start getting it on, and then as they're getting their clothes off, Michael kills Annie's boyfriend, and Annie, she's a bit pathetic, I have to say, in this, but she gets knocked out, and Michael doesn't kill her straight away. And when she comes back to bring Lindsay home, Annie's laid on the floor with blood all over her, topless, and Michael's waiting, hiding behind the door with Annie's boyfriend's body hanging with a pumpkin on his head. So they do make changes there. Annie does not die this time round, and yeah, in this, you know, the brawl as well, the final scene ends differently. Like this, Dr. Loomis, he's got more of a connection with Michael. He doesn't want him to kill, and also he hesitates to shoot him this time round. He doesn't want to shoot him, but he will if he has to. But you all know he doesn't want to, and you know, when he's got Laurie safe, it's like he goes, they reuse the lines. Was that the boogeyman? You know, I believe it was. Michael gives us one last scare, and then instead of Michael getting gunned down and falling back out the window, Laurie holds the gun up and Michael throws himself out with her, and there's an alternate ending where she kills Michael, but I think Rob Zombie chose to keep it open for another movie because, you know, 2 years later we got a sequel, and that was, of course, Halloween 2. And the 2009 Halloween had the return of Rob Zombie as writer and director, and we had Malcolm McDowell return as Dr. Loomis, Tyler Mane return as Michael, Sherry Moon Zombie return as Debbie Myers, even though she was killed. She died in the last one because once she saw Michael kill a nurse, she then blew her head off. And then they did the 15-year time jump. So she was like a ghost in Michael's head. We had Danielle Harris return, and of course Scout Taylor Compton return as Laurie. So this is like 1 year after the events of the first Halloween. In this, little Michael Myers is played by a younger actor in this. And we even get a cameo in this one from Weird Al Yankovic. Yes, we do, during a chat show scene where Dr. Loomis is selling his book, and he's become famous now because he wrote a book in the first film. It wasn't selling, but after the events of Halloween, he was selling, and he turned into a bit of a dick. Like, all the fame got to him a bit. So the beginning scene, we see Michael basically go after Laurie in the hospital, like shot for shot. We even see Michael getting his body taken away when he's not dead, and then the van crashes into a cow, and Michael then sees a white horse and his mother, which is a dream he had as a kid. In the opening scene, we see the kid, who's not the same kid, because the other kid they had from the previous film had a growth spurt. So they changed that act to a younger one. So yeah, Michael then has hallucinations of his mother, Debbie Myers, and his younger self with a white horse, which I don't know what that was all about. I think it was an excuse so Rob Zombie could get his wife Sherry Moon in the movie. We had other supporting characters in this, all just been made to get killed off. In this, Annie meets her demise, Michael kills her, and at the end as well, Sheriff Beckett, gets a firing squad to gun Michael down. Now in this, they ruin the mystery of Michael, because Dr. Loomis, at the end, he sees sense and realises he needs to get back to Haddonfield, which, I don't know how he does it, go from LA to Haddonfield so quickly, and tries to talk Michael round, and then Michael takes his mask off and stabs Loomis and shouts to him, "Die!" And they pretty much ruined Michael. I have to say, they ruined Michael at that point. He was at this point, it revealed that he's a mortal human man, and he gets gunned down and killed. Laurie, however, she inherits some of the evil in Michael, and the film ends where she sees Debbie Myers with the white horse and smiles sinisterly. Yeah. This remake was a bit... I wasn't a huge fan of it. Things I did like was the look Michael got in this, Hobo Michael Myers, that everyone calls him. I like that look, I got to admit. Didn't like how a chunk of the mask was gone. Which was disappointing. What else? If you can hear noise, it's my sister's room. She's got her TV on. I told her to turn it down. She just won't do it. But she's... yeah. So try and excuse the noise. So yeah, this one, it felt like a Rob Zombie film. It felt like a Rob Zombie movie with the Halloween characters. I think, his story was original. I mean, the other elements he had that was tributing Halloween 2, the original one, was the opening scene where he's chasing her through the hospital. But this one, it felt like a Rob Zombie original film with Halloween, with the characters of Halloween in it. This one, I don't think was a success because they never made a third movie. In fact, this one pretty much killed the franchise, and we didn't get a Halloween movie for at least 9 years, until 2018 for the film's 40th anniversary, which we will get to in our penultimate chapter of this Horror Talk series. So, I think that's pretty much all I've got to say about the Rob Zombie films, the Halloween series of Rob Zombie's films. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Do you like Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2? I don't mind his first one. I think that's a pretty okay remake. I do like the prequel stuff, but he does take the mystery out of Michael. Halloween 2, I didn't really like. His version of Halloween 2, I weren't a huge fan of. But yeah, let me know all that down below in the comments. Plus, you can watch this series so far, linked at the end of this video, and in the cards above. So be sure to check all that out. So yeah, that's it for this part of Horror Talk, the Halloween franchise, and 31 continues tomorrow as well. So yeah, if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you're new here. Be sure to hit that notification bell, and all my social media links are down below in the description. So yeah, until next time, don't have nightmares.